In this video, I'll be teaching you guys about De Morgan's theorem. So, what is De Morgan's theorem? It's basically just a theorem where you can distribute this inverter or this not logical operator into the parentheses P and Q. Now, the thing about this statement is that if you want to distribute this negation operator into P and Q, you can write down negated PQ and negated PQ. But what's in between? Do you keep the OR operator? Because right now this is OR. No. When you use De Morgan's theorem, you actually flip the OR into an AND. So if you want to distribute this inverter or this not logical operator or this negation logical operator, whatever you want to call it, into these parentheses, you have to just simply flip this little wedge here. So if it's facing up, you flip it down after distributing it, or if it's facing down, you flip it up. And I'll show you what I mean by that right now. So you have an inverter with parentheses. Now these parentheses are important because if you just had not PVQ, this is an entirely different statement. You're only applying the negation onto the P, not onto the statement P or Q. So keep in mind these parentheses are required for De Morgan's theorem. But what if you had P and Q instead? Well, if you want to distribute this negation operator, you can put negated P, negated Q. But remember what I said about De Morgan's theorem? All you do is flip this little wedge over, so now it's facing up after distributing it. So De Morgan's theorem is pretty simple, and these two statements are actually logically equivalent. So if I wanted to give you an example, let's say P was equal to I have pizza, and Q was equal to I have soda. In order to write these two statements down, and let's actually just use the first one first at the top to save some space. But in order to write these two statements down, I would take a look at this guy, P or Q, right? And the statement P is I have pizza, and the statement Q is I have soda. So let's write down P or Q first. So if I want to write down P or Q first, I would write down I have pizza or soda. Okay? And we have the negation in the front, so we want to negate everything in the pizza or soda. So it's basically, it is, so I can write down, it is not true that, and okay, I need, it is not true that I have pizza or soda. This is the statement on the left after combining P or Q and then negating both of them with the it is not true. Usually if you see it is not true at the beginning of the sentence, you typically have a parenthesis around, or especially if it's not true and then you have the entire statement after it, typically you have a parenthesis with the negation in the front. Now, don't take that as my absolute word. Use context clues to determine that. But after you distribute this negation in front of the P and in front of the Q, and then flip the wedge, you basically have the statement not P and not Q. So if we write this again, we have I don't have pizza. And, so I use and now instead of or, since we flipped the or to the and. I don't have pizza, and I don't have soda, which is the negated Q sentence. So these two guys, although they're written in two different ways, the first one is written in the way of the left side of the equation, and the second sentence is written in the right side of the way of the equation after using De Morgan's theorem. Both of these guys are logically equivalent. They mean the same exact thing. And if you actually pay attention and read both of these sentences, you're going to get the same conclusion, right? Just run through all the situations in your head. If you're good at English, just interpret these two sentences. They literally logically mean the same thing. Now, one of the sentences is probably easier to understand, especially the second one. But basically, essentially, the point of De Morgan's theorem is so that you can do proofs. So later on, you're going to learn things called laws of propositional logic, and basically, you're gonna manipulate statements that look like this to statements that look like something else to make it maybe simpler, or just a proof for I don't know, your class or something like that.